it started with a divorce, and when he left, we were facing foreclosure. So, of course, there comes a time when the bank asks you to leave.
I lost my job. I had no resources whatsoever, so I couldn't find a job. That led me to get evicted from my home. Lost most of the things that I got, and I was out on the streets with my family, living in a van, going from shelter to shelter.
I was laid off my job and didn't find employment soon enough, so I lost my apartment and needed a place to go. Well, of course you worry about how are you going to take care of your family and what are you going to do and where are you going to go, and you have 1,000,001 worries, so everything is hard about it.
Well, I got a divorce, or I got a separation, and I wanted to move to start over, but I couldn't get my deposit back unless I was out of the place, and I needed that deposit to give to a new place, and then things didn't work out, so we had to start from scratch, so we didn't have any place to go.
I asked God to help me, that this number I was about to call was going to help me, so I did call.
I'm Jackie White, Director of Family Premise of East San Fernando Valley. In the next couple minutes, I'm going to discuss who we are as an organization, who we help, why we're so successful, and how you can get more involved in helping us end homelessness, one family at a time. The mission of Family Premise of East San Fernando Valley is to provide interim housing, food, and intense case management services to homeless children and their families so that these families can regain financial independence and hopefully never fall back into homelessness. As director, I help families navigate the tough social services that are out there and help them get from homelessness back to self-sufficiency. The area that we serve is the East San Fernando Valley. That includes Burbank, Glendale, Eagle Rock, North Hollywood, Valley Village, Studio City. Currently, right now, 41% of the homeless population falls within the family unit. Just alone in East San Fernando Valley and in the surrounding areas, we have 11,000 children every night who are suffering from homelessness. Our population is the situationally based homeless family. Our typical family comes from living in their own apartment, perhaps their own home. Everything was going right until something went wrong in the family. Normally that situation is lack of employment, loss of employment, divorce, breakup, perhaps domestic violence, and a family just needs a little bit of time to get back up on their feet. Our population is not the chronically homeless, those families who have been homeless for more than 1 year. What makes our network very unique is that we're able to house the family unit together. Typical Los Angeles area shelters will separate families based upon age and gender. Other area shelters also do not offer families somewhere to go during the day. They open up the doors at 7 a.m. and families are left without showering, laundering facilities, access to computers to seek employment, access to phones for employment. They have nowhere to go from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. When a family first comes to the door, most of them are very scared, anxious, don't know where to turn. We sit down for about an hour, we talk about the family's needs, the family's goals, if they align with the mission of Family Promise, and we see how we can best help the family. Everyone who comes into the network is background checked, doesn't have any type of substance abuse issues currently going on, drugs and medical marijuana. No one has, they're fleeing a domestic violence situation, nor has an untreated mental illness. So once families come to our network, I think they're very relieved once they find out that it's just families like your next door neighbor who they're going to be sleeping next to. Our day center is open from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. At the day center, families can shower, do laundry, look for employment through our computer lab. They can also store their belongings, which is very huge to our families when they've lost everything. Having a place to keep their belongings that's safe and secure is very important to them. Also, the number one thing that our day center offers families is a mailing address. Families simply just live in their own apartment and no one needs to know that they're here or in this situation. They can put this address on their resume, they give this address to family and friends. This address allows families to keep confidentiality, privacy, and most of all, dignity. The number one obstacle that our families face when seeking employment is finding safe, reliable, affordable childcare. We work very hard with our neighboring agencies and some of our congregations to provide free childcare to our families. The largest part of Family Promise is our Interfaith Hospitality Network. By partnering with over 25 different congregations in the area, our congregations provide our families with not only overnight accommodations, but also volunteer help. Families are housed 1 week at a time at each congregation. Each congregation can host families up to 4 times a year. When families go there at night, about 5 p.m., the congregations open up their doors to our families. They provide them with a nice warm meal at night. They're all gathered around the table and can have some family time together. Congregations also provide our families with something to do at night to entertain their children, whether it's volunteers coming and bringing their talents of music or arts and crafts. It's a time when our parents can kind of relax a little bit and know that their children are still well taken care of by volunteers.
I've been to 4 different churches, and every single one of them has been wonderful to me. They have catered me, they have given me food, they have shown me the love that they have for people like us, like homeless people. But when I'm around those churches, when I'm around those volunteers, when I'm around the people from the churches, I don't feel homeless. I feel like I have a whole family that's protecting me and helping me.
They make you feel comfortable. They make you feel like family. They really go out of their way to make you feel at home. And you know, they ask you, you know, what your meal preference is, and try to help you with sleeping accommodations. The volunteers make sure you have breakfast and lunch for the next day. And there's family time, which I really like. That's encouraged. So sometimes there's homework help, and there's games and activities for the kids, and sometimes a movie night, you know, depending on where you are.
Food is great. Food is great. And what I love it is that every night is a different dish. Every night is something, you know, different from every family. And they love and they care that they do the food with. It's wonderful.
The members of the church or volunteers there would interact with them and play games and help them with homework, and, you know, just almost treated them as if they were, you know, part of their family too.
Since opening July 2010, Family Promise East San Fernando Valley has helped 28 families in their quest for financial independence. We've served 95 individuals, 2/3 of which were children. 88% of our families go on to find long-term success through employment and stable living. 100% of our families that we've helped into stable housing have remained in stable housing. One of our success stories is a married couple with 1 child. When they came to our network, they were getting evicted from their apartment and didn't really have a lot of support services around them regarding employment and maintaining employment. They came into our network and were very excited that within 49 days, which is 1 day less than our average length of stay of 50 days, they were able to graduate our network with full-time employment and affordable housing up in Lake Tahoe, where they're now property managers.
I had a couple who was a property management team. They went on very many interviews, corporate and moms and pops. Now they're successful up in Silmar, taking care of 250 units in a mobile home park where they're getting free 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, company car, company credit cards, also a very nice salary. I also have an individual who came with experience as a property manager, and she's managing 300 units in Burbank, Pacoima, and North Hollywood.
I also have the pleasure of working with Art. I'm going to say he's one of the main reasons that I'm employed now. Just his way of speaking, he's a motivational speaker, or he just, like he said, I need to revamp you. You need to become this new Angie. It's, you know, you just got to sell yourself, you know, you have it. It's just somewhere deep inside, you know, and he brought it out, and yeah, I'm happy to say I have a job now. My housing is, permanent housing is just around the corner, just a couple of weeks away, I believe, so yeah.
Well, right now I am looking forward to getting into permanent housing. Jackie referred me to a program to get into temporary housing, so going from homelessness to temporary housing to permanent housing, and going back to school to further my education and hopefully employment.
It's been very good. We found a place over in Providencia, which is on the other side of Burbank. Yeah, just to help me to get that situated, everything out of there, everything in storage, wait a while to get the money back, and then really be on my job of looking for a place to find for us.
The greatest aspect of Family Promise is seeing a family come in on day one and how devastated they are. They just don't feel like there's any hope for them to succeed, and within such a short amount of time, only 50 days, which is our average length of stay right now, you see a family come in and they're just devastated, and within that short amount of time, get the job, get the apartment back, find their sense of self again, and see them come together as a family unit and stay strong and motivated is really the best part of my job.
The premise behind Empty Bowl is very, very simple. We ask local potters to handcraft beautiful bowls that they donate to us. And we serve a very simple meal of soup, bread, and dessert to people who purchase a ticket. So the soup is donated, the bread and the desserts are donated, and the bowls are donated by local artists in our community. The idea behind having a soup supper with a bowl is that it reminds the participants, or those people that are guests at our event, what it's like to be homeless, what it's like to have an empty bowl. So our guests are allowed to take home the handcrafted bowl at the end of the event to remind them going forward of the struggle that homeless families face every day trying to put meals on the table. Well, Box City is another one of our signature events. We've already had 3 Box City events, and we'll be moving into our 4th Box City event. And just like Empty Bowl, we have picked events that have a theme that's related to the theme of homelessness. Empty Bowl, we focus on the hunger that these homeless families experience, and with Box City, we focus on the uncertainty of shelter. Where are these families going to stay?
When a congregation joins Family Promise, either at the host or support level, they know that they're going to be thoroughly trained. All of their volunteers go through a thorough training process led by me, the director. Volunteers also have access to my phone number, email. They'll always feel like they're supported and a part of Family Promise. I always tell volunteers that we have an opportunity to meet their schedule. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. There's always an opportunity to volunteer with Family Promise, whether that's making a meal, serving a meal, bringing some talent that family has, whether it's music, arts and crafts, helping families with resumes, mock interviewing. There's always something that a volunteer can bring to Family Promise.
The program itself is a very practical way of serving the community, and I think for us what it's done is it's really enriched the people here, the congregation, to understand that this is ministry. This is, we can talk about theology all we want, but when you're serving people who are hungry, when you're allowing them to stay in your facilities and helping them get work that they need, it changes lives.
We consider that it's part of our mission as a synagogue to be able to offer a hand to those who out in the wider community, both Jewish and not Jewish, who are less fortunate than ourselves.
For us, the idea of reaching out and serving others is a way by which we respond to God's love and life. We have a large campus, so there's always room for someone, and we're grateful that Family Promise fits into our understanding of hospitality and mission, because we can do both at one time.
Whenever we have the Family Promise here, I volunteer to stay a night with them. And I try to do that on a consistent basis because I feel so blessed to be a part of it.
We've had only positive experiences with the times that we've been able to host families.
One of the things that I think most of our members will say is, I didn't realize in coming to Family Promise, and when I served them a meal or sat with them, played a game with them, got to know the children, that they were actually getting up to go to school the next day. And how that tugs in your heart to think, where would they be if we didn't have a shelter for them or a place for them, or they didn't have a meal? They'd probably be living in their car. And boy, if that doesn't melt your heart, I don't know what will.
These are great families. They're not chronic homeless. They are, if you will, folks that are new to being, having a housing challenge, if you will, having a home challenge. And it's great when you, as the community, can reach down and grab them and bring them in through the Family Promise program and invite them to your facility. You will be blessed. I guarantee it.
Once a quarter, our congregants join with one of the churches who are also part of Family Promise, and we prepare meals which are going to be given to families who are being given temporary shelter. And that's always a very popular initiative.
It's awakened our understanding of homelessness. It's removed the stigma of what homeless means, that we're all in the same boat. And so it gives us a practical way of loving the community. And so I guess for anybody else who's not involved, I'd encourage them to get involved. I don't know anyone who regrets this ministry.
I first heard about Family Promise when I was studying back east in New Jersey. We're the first Family Promise in Southern California. Well, it keeps growing. When we first started organizing out here, it was around 150, and now we're at 170 networks across the nation.
Programs are enriched that don't deal with maybe this avenue. They're enriched because we're doing this. It's something you can get involved in and realize this is the heart of what we do as the people of God, is to be there for others. So I'm very passionate.
There are so many problems and so many issues in the world. You know, how can we even take a step towards doing any of it? Well, by getting involved in Family Promise, I believe you'd be taking a step that can truly make a difference.
Whatever church you go to, we do it because we're empty and we need to be filled. And we get filled only to use our whatever filled us, which should be love.
I can think of nothing worse from a parent's perspective than feeling like you're not in a position to help your children and support them. And knowing what that feels like, giving to an organization that just buys them a little bit of time, because that's what we're doing, we're buying time. And that's what most people need, is just a little bit of time. And with that little bit of time, they do it all themselves. The rest is theirs. They're making the change in their lives. They're doing the transition. They're providing for their families. We're just buying them time. And time is a beautiful gift.
Do it. Do it. There's a lot of people who need help. I needed help. You guys gave me a room to stay in, just warm smiles, a home-cooked meal. It meant the world to me. I can never repay them for that, but they will be blessed, you know, by God. They really will. Their congregation will be blessed, and we were blessed by them.
People need people, and you know, there's a lot of people who are going through hard times, and they're struggling, and it's just important that people help people. And you know, if you have a heart to help people, or you know, you just have spare time, there's a lot of people who would really appreciate your time, and I know that I really appreciated the time, and I'm grateful for all the volunteers, you know, at the center, the people who plan everything, the van driver, the volunteers at the churches who prepare our meals and, you know, help us with everything.
There may be a lot of people in the ministry that are looking for opportunities, things to go out and just, you know, minister. So it's a good opportunity for that, just to meet people and share, you know, just to give yourself.
The only thing I want to do and tell people is that help. Like I said, with anything you can, especially churches, open their doors to people like us. We really need it. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of kids basically outside that need your help. They need a little hand. They need a plate of food and a place to stay. Please help them as much as you can, because it really works.